He spoke out of anger. It's one thing to speak and it's a different thing to act. He did not act.
His mother is speaking out tonight after her husband is heard on tape telling people to burn down Ferguson. Good evening. I'm Marissa Holloway.
I'm Joey Parker. Demonstrations continue after this week's violence in Ferguson. Today, 100 officers were called in and City Hall was locked down in St. Louis. Before protesters stormed the building, they held a mock trial for Darren Wilson in front of the old courthouse. That was the courthouse where Dred Scott was also tried.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Just in the last hour, we learned Governor Nixon is calling in the state's Division of Fire Safety, along with the Highway Patrol's Drug and Crime Division, to help authorities track down the people responsible for the damage in Ferguson. Overall, more than 60 people have been arrested over the last 24 hours, and that doesn't include other protests in dozens of other cities nationwide. Today, we also learned the Thanksgiving Day Parade in St. Louis has been canceled because of the unrest in Ferguson.
Tonight, a former high-ranking member of the Highway Patrol says policing has to change to prevent more scenes like Ferguson.
Yeah, that's right. And only on ABC 17 News tonight, Heather Horrigan visits with Charlie Jackson. Jackson lives in Jefferson City and was in command of the Missouri Highway Patrol, Troop F, at one time. That was before serving as the state's director of public safety. And Heather, Mr. Jackson says the role police play has seemed to change over the years.
According to Jackson, it has. He began his career as a trooper on the roads in Boone County during the 70s. In the 80s, he worked at Troop F's general headquarters, becoming the commander of Troop F. He tells me over the past 20 years, the mindset of law enforcement has changed from service and protection to enforcement and control.
When I came on, it was services was so important to having a working relationship with the citizens that you serve here in Boone County.
What do you think caused that change?
I think that a lot of the movies, and again, being older, a lot of the movies that came out, that what you watch becomes part of you.
Why do you think a lot of people are not trusting officers as much? I feel like there's this huge...
The television.
You think it is that?
The media.
That officers are seen as bad guys.
And lack of interaction with the officers, with the citizens.
The number of officers dying on the job has increased over the years. Do you think that has something to do with officers also using force more so?
I think that some people are afraid. I noticed it towards the end of my tenure with the Highway Patrol, the type of training that we were doing. It was like everybody's suspect.
So, lastly, what would you like to say to law enforcement in Ferguson right now?
To interact with the people as much as they can, to let them know that you're there to work with them, not against them.
Jackson also tells me if people are not pleased with the way police are handling the situation in Ferguson, then they should take the proper avenues to change that. Violence is only prolonging the process.
Heather, thank you.
Cold air.